In this next episode of My First Win, I get some much needed physiotherapy and try to develop a gym routine. I learn how to putt again and make another putty swap. And in my latest comp at Stand Golf Club, I set a new record. Right, exciting one. We are off to go and figure out why my body keeps breaking. Struggled with a bad back, struggled with a bit of a bad neck recently, and overall, as most people do, I disregard stretching and sort of general fitness as we get out on the golf course. But we're going to go and see Marco Penge's guy today, Mike, and he's going to put us right, so off we go. I guess one thing I'm excited to see is sort of the little stretches he can give us just before a round of golf, because I dabble in a few, but actually when we played with Marco the other day, he did about 10 minutes before we actually started hitting balls on the range, and he knew exactly what he was doing. He said it was the same thing every time, so hopefully I can get some of those and we can be in the right place.
So just running back through the screening we've just done, so looking at your lower back mobility. So the key things are relatively good in the way that we move, but we're just a little bit disconnected in how we can be probably more efficient for your lower back, hence why you get a little bit of lower back pain, a little bit of neck discomfort. I always kind of describe it as that your genetics, habits and environments drive the reasons why you end up the way you are. So I think the work you do, combining that with golf, you just need to prepare correctly. Prepare before you hit balls, before you do your content, and also before you play, so you enjoy it better, but also you don't get these physical restrictions coming back. And like we've just discussed about, obviously ranges of movement, you're not too bad, but we want to create as optimal environment for you to move well, and also longevity. Yeah, looking at like potential wear and tear down the line, all these things that people end up getting to the problem, as opposed to having a kind of a fit of, if you know the protocol to follow to help you not get to those problems, you'll move better, you'll play better. And obviously when you're traveling up and down in the car, doing things what you've got to do work-wise, you're not getting these restrictions kicking in and causing you discomfort. Just ease those restrictions in your neck and your back. I'm going to teach you some good fundamentals today. So you've got a plan, and we can get you moving like a tour pro.
That's the hope.
All right, we'll crack on. We'll get on with the treatment, and then we'll run through some content in the gym as well. All right.
So this was a really good session with Mike. He'd gone through a few little screening tests to get an idea of my physical limitations and what I was maybe suffering with, the back and the neck issues. From there, then he was able to do a little bit of physiotherapy, even crack my neck, which was something I've never had done before. It was different, but it definitely helped. From there, then we were able to do a little bit of work on the reformer, and then the big thing was getting down into the gym and then giving me a stretching routine. And even just a couple of days after doing this, it feels so much different to how I was a couple of weeks ago. The back feels good, the neck feels good. And for me, it has to become part of my post and pre-routine of golf, even just my daily routine, because we're all guilty of running onto the first tee, not limbered up, and then taking 5-6 holes to get warmed up. And that's going to cost you shots and put your body in a bad place. As we're here doing this stretching now in the studio, before we go out to play, after we've played golf, it definitely is making me feel a lot more functional and sort of fluid when I'm out there and not getting these little niggles. And it's something, like I say, that I think we should all, as golfers, spend a little bit more time on and put a little bit more urgency into making sure that we do it. So this is something that I'm really going to try and focus on moving forwards. Another thing that I've been working on before the next competition is my putting. The stats show that it's been a little bit of a letdown in the recent months. So we're going to head out to Warrington and do some of my favourite drills and favourite putting routines to try and see if I can get it back to where it was. So this is my go-to setup. We've got a cane here that's going to help me with my alignment of my eyes over the golf ball. If you don't want to put one in, you can drop a golf ball. Down here, I've got a couple of tees. I love this drill, Tiger's favourite drill. Ball goes in, and simply, if you're coming too much out from in, too much in from out, you're going to hit either side of the tee, and it just gets that path working on the correct arc that I want to. Gets my blade aligned square as well at address and helps me there. got the secondary cane here, that's for my body alignment, and then just the towel down just to protect the grass. If you are practicing for a little bit of time, be respectful and put the towel down so you don't leave any marks. But simply all I do here is, this is just like a calibration station, I would call it, because A, gets my body alignment, it gets my eye alignment, and then it gets my club alignment. And if I can just start hitting putts like this, all I'm really looking for is my two key aspects for me. My ball position, which I can monitor with the tees. I want those in the center of my body and the ball just being towards hole side of that. And then my eye alignment, so as I'm over the golf ball, if I just have a glance back now, I can see that my eyes are in line. My big fault has been that I've had the ball too far back and my head too far inside, and I've been pushing a lot of putts because by the time I meet the golf ball, it's not had time to let the face shut. And also, as I'm inside here, I'm looking this way across the putt. So calibration station, get in here, make sure those eyes are good, make sure my ball position's good, and just roll it. Should work. The next thing I like to do, now we've calibrated, is do compass drill. North, south, east, west at a club length, and then in between those two club lengths. And all I try and do is get round, see how many attempts it takes me to get round. The beauty of this is that you've got putts circling the hole, different distances, 1 club length, 2 club length, the ones that matter, and they're all on different breaks as well. So you'll have left to right, right to left, up hills, down hills, and it really gets the nerves jangling when you get towards the end. One of my favourite drills, this is all I used to do to get good at putting. Calibration station, and then this. And each putt I will try as well to try and do it as if it was out on the course, meaning something. So pick a station, start there, go through your routine, try and take what I've just learnt on the station and go from there. See how many attempts it takes us. So it is 6:45 AM and we've come for a practice round at Stan Golf Club. This is where the comp's going to be in Monday, which you will see very shortly. I've not played here in maybe about 15 years. It's an absolutely stunning day. First impressions, very hilly. Greens look pure as anything. So we're going to get out, hit some shots and just get an idea today of what to hit off tees and then where to miss it going into the greens if I were to miss them. If I can do that, it gives me a good idea on the way round. So this first hole is doglegging from right to left. It looks like you can either hit like a 5-iron down or take a bit of the corner off. It looks wide enough. So I'm going to go 5 wood over the corner. Hole 2, a par 5. That first tee, definitely don't be greedy. I think instead of 5 wood, I'm going to hit 4-iron, so I can't get those trees. One thing I definitely won't do during a practice round is keep a score, just for the fact that A, you don't want to have a bad round and then that be leading into it, but also you're not sure of where the pins are going to be, you're not under tournament conditions, so it's more about just finding out about the golf course, not your score, just where's good spots to hit it, where's not good spots to hit it, so on and so forth. Well, I'm glad we came for a practice round. I'm 9 holes in, and firstly, Chris Benson and his team have done an incredible job with this golf club. It has really taken me by surprise. It's fantastic condition, is spot on. But in terms of knowing the golf course, like I say, glad I came, because a lot of undulation, a lot of places you can miss greens and get favourable kicks back to the middle of greens. If you aim the other side, you're dead. And then off the tee, it's not just driver, it's very much a tactical golf course. You've got to put it in a spot to allow yourself to open up the greens as opposed to just trying to bully it. There's a lot of dog legs, and if you try and take them on and just get it wrong, you'd be in a world of trouble. So another 9 to go, and hopefully come Monday we're all good. So one thing I've been doing all the way around is taking loads of notes, tee shots and then approaches into the greens. What can we do to make sure we have the best chance of getting a win? A couple of holes to go now. Absolutely love the golf course. It's fantastic, really has taken me by surprise, but a couple more shots now and it's time to get into the competition. So now it is competition time. The day has come. We've got to get going. The competition is at Stand, which is Bury, out near Manchester. And the day was a little bit colder than expected, but overall a lovely day to go and try and get my first win. One thing that I mentioned in previous episodes was preparation, and I was really happy with the prep that I'd done coming into this event and also the day of the event, arriving in time, getting some stretching done in the locker room beforehand, having some putts, having some chips, having some shots in the net, and really maximising the time that I had before we get to the first tee. So now it's time to get down there and see how we go. Perfect. Cheers. Go wind. Cheers. Never hit it hard enough, Matthew. Sit. Sit. Go. Just shy. Good swing. Good swing. Just shy, chip and a putt. Stay. Oh man, what is that? actually didn't hit anything. I think I'll play a provisional, but it's not hit anything, and might actually be on.
Might be sound.
Yeah. That's coming out so weird. Cheers. So fantastic start there, a birdie to get us going. Nice little pitch actually into the green because it wasn't the greatest of lies, and that was an area that I'd been working on. So I was really happy to get that under the belt and also hold that putt, given that also that was something that was an area where I'd focused my time working into this event. Now over the next few holes, it was interesting because the second I played really nicely, just an annoying little 3-putt. And then from there, I got a little bit nervous and sort of didn't really commit to any tee shot, leaking it right off the 3rd, right off the 4th. Then had a really lucky escape down 5 with the pulled 3-wood, and then 6 leaking it again right with an iron. And the thing that I did, I think, well for these 6 holes was not get flustered. I stuck to my game plan. I was very calm and collected. And even though I hadn't hit my best shots there, I still managed to actually just battle my way through and only be 1 over through there, when realistically it could have been quite a few more with how loose some of those shots were. So moving into the next set of holes, I'd sort of given myself a little bit of a talking to coming off the back of the 6th green, thinking, okay, well, not the ideal start, but not also the worst start that we wanted. Let's really get in control of these tee shots now. Let's hit some fairways and make sure that we're giving ourselves a chance looking at the greens so we can set up some putts, because putting was actually the thing that seemed to be shining a light through there. That was working nicely. So I just needed, over these next 6 holes, to try and get the ball in play a little bit more. Soft, soft. Oh. That was literally caught the last branch and sent it right. Big bounce forwards.
Yep.
Cheers. Perfect. Yeah, it all falls to the left as well.
Yeah, it's about 15 feet away. Getting me full Sergio run on today. I think so.
Yeah, good time.
Sit, sit. Soft bounce, soft. Par the hard way. That was a nervy one, Matthew. Get that.
Yes, out back.
Yeah. Kick left. Oh wow, Matthew. It's okay, isn't it?
I don't know what right at that, but I think so. It might be blocked out.
Yeah.
But if you follow it, see where the rough starts,
Yeah.
follow that.
It goes like that, doesn't it?
You're warm there, mate.
That's gone, isn't it? Is that dead? Yeah. Why did it come out like that first time? Hold your line. Should be okay. Oh, how's that come out right?
So, an interesting stretch of golf there. One thing that I did do walking off the back of the 9th green was look at the leaderboard. And at that point, I was 2 over par, I think. And I saw that the leader at this point was only 2 under. So I said to myself, right, come on, let's really push and try and make some birdies. One thing I had committed to before going out was actually not looking at the leaderboard and not using my phone for the digital scoreboard. I was going to let one of the other guys do it. I was marking a card old school style, and it just changed my mindset. And given that I wasn't committed with my tee shots in the first section, it made the next section of tee shots even worse. I just haven't been as laser focused off the tee as I would do with a putt or an iron shot into the green. When I'm hitting iron shots into the green, I'm taking account of where the wind is, what the lie is like, where best to miss it on the green, what the distance is, what type of shape I want to hit. As well with the tee shots, I've almost been a little bit too blasé, thinking, well, yeah, it's 3 would just hit a bit of a fade down there, or it's an iron off the tee and holes like the 7th, missing the fairway with a 5 iron, awful. The 11th, which led to one of my doubles, hitting the 5 iron up there, and the fairway's massive, but I almost let that be, oh, well, it's big, and just whack it and didn't think too much. So a little bit of an annoying stretch of golf here, given that I'd battled really nicely from holes 1 to 6. Through the next few holes, I'd battled great on 7, I'd done well on 8, I'd sort of made a good bogey on 9 and battled nicely on 10. And then 11 and 12 were just really sloppy. But that, again, was all down to that sort of focus off the tee. Does it change, though, coming down the stretch?
Oh, no. That's dead. Miss the trap. Please miss the trap. Sorry, bud. You gotta push that. Risky. Soft bounce. Hopefully it bounce. Stop. Done all the hard stuff well, just can't do the easy stuff like hitting a fairway. Get in. Complete misread. Yes. 4. Yeah, well done. Past it all. Oh, what? Dunk it. Oh. Just when you thought your day couldn't get any worse. If you go in that bunker, six. Oh, stop. No, missed every single fairway today. Finally. Cheers. Cheers, pal. Well done. Cheers, pal. Cheers, well. Cheers, mate. Cheers, pal. Well, that was a disaster. So that final set of 6 there, not my greatest work. I think what had happened down on 11, that double bogey, and then bogeying 12, lost my head a little bit, got a little bit hot under the collar and didn't stick to my process. The tee shots were actually better. I drove it quite nicely with driver when we got onto this section of the golf course, albeit they weren't on the fairway, but they were in pretty good spots, nearly knocking it on the 13th hole, getting it pin high there, hitting a pretty decent one down 14 that just bounded through the fairway into the trees, and hitting a pretty good one down 16. So driver, actually, from something that I've been struggling with, was actually a club that I felt I had a little bit of control with. I did lose that one out of bounds on 17, which was just a little bit unfortunate, and trying to sort of press there for trying to birdie the last 2 holes to get somewhere near the top of the leaderboard. But for me, the big story of the day, and where I set a personal new record, was the tee shots. I didn't hit a single fairway. And for me, it all comes down to that mentality on the tee, being a little bit too loose, a bit too blasé about what I was doing off the tee. I wasn't specific enough about my targets, the shot I was trying to hit. I was sort of saying, well, just hit a cut down the fairway, which, as we know, isn't what we need to be doing. We really need to be lasered in to actually hit the shots that we needed to do, because actually a lot of those shots were very easy. I didn't put enough attention to them and then made the rest of the game very hard from there. I lost 4.2 strokes off the tee. I lost 5.3 with my approach play. Now, that's partly due to how bad I'd hit it off the tee. I put myself in situations where it was impossible to hit greens. And then also that shot on 11 where I've tried hitting it out of the clag, club's whipped over and it's hooked out of bounds. That obviously compounds those strokes gained lost there. What I am happy to see though is that the short game stayed up round level, 0.47 strokes lost there. So that this year has actually been an improvement. Last year it was worse than that, and it has been in the positive in a couple of the competitions. So looking at that stat, it's all about just giving myself the best chance when I've missed the green, and if I'm not hitting it in a good spot off the tee and I'm really scrambling, that will be affected. But the shining light was my putting. I gained 1.5 strokes, which is great to see, because I always think that's a strong part of my game, and the work that I've put in there has paid off. And as well, I think having that stretching routine as well that we saw Mike for beforehand, I did feel good going down onto the first tee. I felt loose and I felt like I was in a good position to actually put my best foot forward. So there's a lot, I think, to take away from today. The result, not great, but we can see even just looking at the leaderboard now, I beat Pete Finch. I beat my dad, which is always a little bit of a thing that I want to do, make sure that he doesn't finish above me in any of the competitions. But looking at where Paul Kinnear finished at -6, there's a long way to go. But like I say, a lot of good is coming from this series, because I'm getting lots of work on my fitness, I'm working on my game, I'm working on the mental stuff, and hopefully it's helping you as well identify and maybe help you improve your game along the way. And I definitely think that very soon the tide will turn. We'll get back to that level par golf and then start shooting under par. And to the latter end of the series, I think that we'll be in a good position to get that first win. So fingers crossed, another comp coming up soon. I think it's in about 2 or 3 weeks. We've got to get going, we've got to get playing well, we've got to keep on performing, keep on believing, and hopefully we get my first win. Guys, thanks for watching. Why not watch another video here where you can see me actually helping you out on the golf course?